Excellency, the Vice President of Côte d'Ivoire, Her Excellency, the Vice President of Zambia, His Excellency, the King of Lesotho, His Excellency, the Prime Minister of Côte d'Ivoire, His Excellency, the Prime Minister of Congo-Brazzaville, His Excellency, the President of the African Union Commission, honorable ministers, distinguished guests, and all protocol observed. Good morning. And I am pleased to represent African Development Bank President Dr. Akinwumi Adesina for this final day of the high-level meeting. Welcome to all of you and to those of you who are joining us online today as we take action around the theme of the African Year of Nutrition. I want to acknowledge the government of Côte d'Ivoire for its long-standing commitment to improving nutrition security. Specifically, I'd like to acknowledge His Excellency President Alassane Ouattara, who earlier this year called this year to be declared as the African Year of Nutrition. This call draws attention to finding appropriate solutions that strengthen Africa's nutritional resilience. This leadership is a natural draw for collaboration. Collaboration between the government of Côte d'Ivoire, the African Union Commission, the African Development Bank's African Leaders for Nutrition initiative, and all of our partners that have contributed to the success of today's event. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here today in this international hotel, tonight, more than 246 million people in Africa will go to bed hungry. And although the continent has made much progress against malnutrition, Africa has only 3 years left to achieve the Malabo targets of 10% stunting reduction and 5% underweight, 10% stunting and 5% underweight, and the objectives outlined in the Africa Regional Nutrition Strategy. Africa's progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly Goals 2 and 3, to end all hunger and all forms of malnutrition, to ensure good health and well-being for all ages, is at risk. However, gatherings like this are leading the drive to mitigate this risk. The African Union's declaration of 2022 as the Year of Nutrition provides us with the inspiration and the impetus to commit to strengthening the resilience of Africa's agri-food, health, and social protection systems. The African Development Bank recognized malnutrition as a major obstacle for human and economic development. We are committed to increasing nutrition-smart investments in agriculture and food system projects in Africa by a minimum of 10% year over year. To date, the African Development Bank has reallocated $2.8 billion of its investment portfolio to be nutrition smart. So this is from, importantly, a baseline of just $700 million just 4 years ago. So this is an increase, this is commitment. Through the bank's African Leaders for Nutrition initiative, we are working towards greater impact of the African Year of Nutrition. So this impact aims to increase resources for nutrition through a three-pronged approach. First, mobilizing African governments to adopt stronger policies and increased financing for nutrition. In other words, more money for nutrition that is better spent. African Leaders for Nutrition is supporting the African Union Commission to develop a new nutrition policy and also a financing framework. This will include high-impact interventions from which African leaders can select context-appropriate and country-specific investments and advocacy action. The second approach is increasing demand for global investment and the prioritization of nutrition by African leaders. The African Leaders for Nutrition initiative engages key stakeholders and audiences and leverages relationships and partners with influencers and issue champions. And our voices are amplified in media outlets like Nature, Food, DevEx, the Financial Times. African Leaders for Nutrition goes where policymakers meet, for example, partnering in a side event at the U.S. African Leaders Summit next week. The third aspect is supporting the mobilization of African Leaders for Nutrition champions and partners to prioritize implementing the Year of Nutrition objectives. African Leaders for Nutrition is developing a campaign platform to better connect the themes of the policy framework and voices of nutrition champions to larger Year of Nutrition ambitions. Together, this is an impactful way to get high-level African political ownership of nutrition through online, social media, and outreach events. The African Leaders for Nutrition produced the Continental Nutrition Accountability Scorecard, which is a database advocacy tool that gives an overview of how African leaders are doing on the delivery of main nutrition indicators. So during the Year of Nutrition and beyond, the African Leaders for Nutrition will be working with African Union member countries and regional economic communities to integrate the scorecard indicators into country data systems. We aim for the Continental Nutrition Accountability Scorecard to do what it says in its name: hold the continent's leaders accountable. And the scorecard provides guidance towards investments, reinforcing commitments to end malnutrition and promote healthy children. I'd like to close today by saying that I believe that we can achieve our nutrition goals. If we accelerate investments and improve in coordination of our efforts, Africa will advance nutrition and improve food security outcomes. The African Development Bank and the African Leaders for Nutrition remain committed to working with all of you, in particular the government of Cote d'Ivoire, to see that this event's deliberations are transformed into impactful commitments. Thank you.